Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment is an amendment that I brought in previous appropriation cycles, and what it does is it defunds or it eliminates the Davis-Bacon federally mandated wage scale components in the construction of Milcon on this underlying bill. And it recognizes a whole series of history that has been built since the early 30s on Davis-Bacon Act. I've spent my life in the construction business, Mr. Chairman, and I started a construction business up in 1975. We are celebrating our 40th year in business, and almost every one of those 40 years we've dealt with Davis-Bacon wage scales, and I have made out personally that payroll over and over again. I've also seen the inefficiencies that are created by a federally mandated. The net effect of it is it's a de facto union scale, not a prevailing wage, but a de facto union scale. And the net effect is it creates inefficiencies, it increases and inflates the cost of our construction projects. Our records over the years that I've been in business show that Davis-Bacon wage scales, the federally mandated wage scales, range between an additional 8% up to 38%. So I just bring that back to a bit of a moderate, careful average, a 20% increase. So the bottom line on this is that if you want to build 5 miles of road, repeal Davis-Bacon. Or if you're willing to accept 4 miles of road, accept a federally mandated union scale. That's true with whatever else we might be doing in all of our military construction and everything else. This is a substantial savings on this bill, and I would point out that this is the last Jim Crow law that I recall that's still on the books, and it was designed to lock black construction workers out of the construction work in New York back in the 30s during the Great Depression, when there was a federal building contract that was let, and the contractor went to Alabama and brought in African Americans to do that work, undercutting the essentially white labor union forces within New York. Two New Yorkers, both of them Republicans, Davis and Bacon, got together and brought this Jim Crow law. Now we're dealing with union scale mandated, and I'd point out that I used to have this debate with the gentleman from Massachusetts, Mr. Frank. He would make the argument that two consenting adults should be able to agree to whatever it two can do, and I would say I agree. And there's no reason for the federal government to be involved in a relationship between an employer and an employee that agree to a wage scale. We pay prevailing wages, and they're not union scale wages as a rule, but they are prevailing wages. We do that because we want to hire the best people. We do the best work that we can do under the plans and specifications offered to us, government work and private sector work all together for 40 years. And we're about to hear that the quality of the work isn't that, and that the government knows best, and government should intervene between a relationship between two consenting adults. And we're about to hear some kind of response on why we shouldn't get rid of the last Jim Crow law on the books. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves.